appraisal accuracy. Let's talk about appraisal accuracy. There's a question that came in here, but this question is major. It's a one-liner question, but I thought it was a great question. Hey my friend, this is Ola coming to you live from my myEmpirePRO studios. On this episode, we're talking about appraisal accuracy. Let's talk about appraisal accuracy. There's a question that came in here, but this question is major. It's a one-liner question, but I thought it was a great question. It has everything to do with our business of real estate and how you value a piece of real estate property. You know that this is about real estate wholesaling. So in real estate wholesaling, basically is the heart and the science, there's a science to it, right, of finding deeply discounted properties. How do you know it's discounted? You need to know their value, right? Well, using mass media marketing, because you need options, okay? Mass media marketing, no driving for dollars over here, okay? Unless you have 200 people doing it for you, okay? Locking the property under contract and then selling the rights to the contract for $1,000 to $82,000. My personal experience, okay? There are people doing a lot more than $82,000 from a deal, but it's a lucrative business is the point, okay? So smart real estate wholesaling is combining that business model with very the cheapest form and most effective, most efficient digital marketing that everyone have access to today, okay? As compared to driving around for dollars or knocking on doors, right? I don't encourage that unless you have other people doing it for you, okay? So that's the whole point. But the first part of that game is finding deeply discounted properties, right? So in order to know if something is a deeply discounted property, you need to know how to value a property. When I say value a property, there's multiple different perspectives to that. In fact, the whole point of the question, or why that poses to be a problem, is because people have their opinions of what the value of any piece of anything is. Like, for example, this bottle of water to some people is worth up to $2. Excuse me. All right, to me, I can't pay more than 20 cents for this. Why? How do I know? Because I could go to Walmart, quick check, and pick up 24 packs for $5. Do the math, right? Some people will say, but it's not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal. It adds up when you count across the year. Well, that's value, right? So now the person that says it's worth $2 for them, I can't really argue with them. They're right. They're absolutely right, okay? For me, it's not worth more than 20 cents. I'm right, okay? For Walmart probably produces this at no more than 10 cents. That's why they're able to sell it for 20 cents. Does that make sense? So value, it's kind of like in the eyes of the beholder. But when you are an entrepreneur, right, you have a responsibility. Your responsibility is to know these different perspectives of value, okay? It's not just about how you feel. It's not just about your opinion any longer. As an entrepreneur, you need to study and learn how to determine the value from all these different perspectives. Does that make sense? All right, so, and that's why we have to talk about appraisers and their accuracy in real estate, because it affects your business directly. Even if you're doing smart wholesaling, you're gonna have other people's deals that you're gonna be a deal mover, okay? You don't get your hands dirty with finding deals, driving for dollars, direct mail. You don't have to do any of that craziness. You have other people finding the deals and you just move the deal. You're a lot closer to deal closing, okay? That's what smart wholesaling is all about. We'll talk about that on the series that we have, because it's a 16-part series that we have coming up. It's coming right here to this channel, so make sure you're subscribed, okay? But even if somebody presents a lead or a deal to you, potential deal to you, you need to be able to determine the value. Does it make sense? Because you don't want to send out to your buyer's network something that's not a deal, okay? And when I say it's not a deal, we're not talking about deal to you, a deal period, okay? From a empirical standpoint, from the numbers, that kind of standpoint, okay? So it's very, very important to know if a number makes sense or it doesn't make sense. And it's very important to know everybody's perspectives as well too. So that's the other extreme end of that is savvy investors, right? Savvy investors that will tell you straight up they can't pay more than 30 cents on a dollar for a property. They have the right to do that, but that doesn't mean you have to sell to them. You can make a lot more money by creating new market, right? Meaning building your buyer network consistently, making sure you're adding 2, 3, 4, 5 minimum per day to your buyers network, okay? And that way you have options, okay? A lot of these people are newbies, meaning they're okay with making 30 cents from every $1 they spend, meaning 30% cash on cash returns on their investment, right? But some of these savvy investors, they're not going to do the deal if they're not going to make 50 cents for every $1 they spend, okay? Meaning for every $100,000 house, they're looking to make $50,000 if they, after all costs have been paid for. Our newbie is saying, you know what, I'm okay with 30 cents. I'm okay with making $30 for every $100 I spend, or $30,000 for a $100,000 deal, right? They're new, they don't care. So if you're able to create more and more new, which means you're helping to build the marketplace, you have a lot more options. Demand is going to be higher. The price you can charge is a lot higher as well too. So you're in control, okay? So again, there's different angles you need to understand how to value, okay? That's the bottom line. Not just real estate properties, but how to create value, how to understand your value in this marketplace, how to increase your value in this marketplace of real estate wholesaling. The number one way right now to increase your value in this marketplace is to not become like everybody else. Everybody else is looking for the deals. Let them keep looking for the deals. We need deals, right? No one is looking for new buyers. So how can you increase your value suddenly in this marketplace? Become a buyer creator, build a buyer's network, okay? That's a value knowledge to understand. That's a value wisdom to understand. Do you understand? So now let's bring it back to real estate, okay? Appraisal accuracy. The person sends a question, say, if a home is appraised at $104,000, how much should I offer them? Well, appraiser, you need to understand where appraisal reports come from. Appraisal reports can be manipulated depending on the motive of the person that wants the appraisal report, okay? Now, if the market is really, really, really bad, like meaning the block is hot, meaning everybody is trying to stay safe, right? They are a lot more accurate, okay? When everybody is closing deals left and right and there are deals happening, they are less accurate, okay? Because there are numbers that show the lower end of the neighborhood, there are numbers that show the higher end of the neighborhood, and the appraiser, depending on how shady or how the word I'm looking for, on how I guess shady is right, you know, meaning they how far away from how truthful they can be, right? If it's I don't want to use the word crime or criminal because it doesn't have to be. Bottom line is that they can manipulate the reports. They can say, you know what, give me the highest comps in that area. Or they can say, give me the lowest comps in that area, depending on their motive. If the motive is to get the deal under contract for a low price, they can give you a low appraiser, okay? Whatever they input into their algorithms that create the appraiser is what's going to spit out. They can input, if they're trying to sell it and they want to use an appraiser to create a higher end appraisal report, right? They can create a higher end. So they could use all $300,000 houses and then you have a $300,000 worth. Or they can use all $150,000 houses, right? And they can adjust the numbers and they can basically turn around and claim to you that, hey, you know, this house is worth this much. So when it comes down to it, an appraiser is only worth what it's worth, okay? You need to do your own numbers, okay? So the accuracy of appraiser is questionable for the most part. Depends on the motive of the person that created the report. So I know where this question is coming from. You approached a seller. They say, hey, we did an appraisal last year and the appraiser came back at 104. That means literally nothing to you, okay? You need to go in the system and find out the more comparable comps. If you're a wholesaler, you're looking for low comps. Okay, you're trying to buy, right? So you need to buy, your motive is to buy as low as possible. And then where they're gonna agree is completely up to negotiation, but you need to find out what the lowest possible comparable for that property is, right? And an appraisal report is not gonna tell you that. Not especially an appraisal report that was created from a different motive. Does that make sense? So the accuracy of an appraiser is directly proportional to the motives of the person that ordered the appraiser in the first place, that paid the $500 to do the appraiser in the first place. Are we making sense here? So hopefully that was enlightening. Hopefully you understand value. Hopefully you understand motive, how it affects value, and where your standpoint is, your opinions, how valuable are they. But more importantly, as an entrepreneur, it's your job to understand value opinions from different perspectives. And then if you can do that, you're on your way to creating massive value in this world, and you will get paid for doing that. Want to learn more about that? Just go to Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, and download this book. It's absolutely a free PDF. If you want the option of a paperback, Kindle, or audiobook, it's also there as well. The same thing with this book. If you go there right now, I'll give you this as a bonus for free. It's called Real Estate Money Secrets. It's my newest book. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.